and welcome to the bonus episode of Creative Company Podcast with me, Becca Hall.
And me, Bryony Machin, and this week we are answering your questions all about social media.
Ooh, okay, so we touched on it briefly in the last episode a bit, but God knows how that sounded.
Yeah, it was all a little bit of a mess. Technical difficulties last.
Technical difficulties, dogs eating bird seeds, hot studios. Please forgive us.
This is probably going to be the same because it's the same day.
Quiet, don't give it away.
Just a little bit of behind the scenes there for you.
Yeah, we do not have much time to record at the moment, so we're cramming it in. Okay.
First question, please.
We are going to go straight into your questions and not dilly-dally today about social media. So Felicia asks, I'm just going from the top here of what I've got written down. How do you manage social media, promoting your work and choosing what needs to be seen?
How do you manage social media?
Promoting your work and choosing what needs to be seen. For me, I actually am not very good at promoting my work, like my book stuff. Like when things are actually out, my published work is out, I'm quite rubbish at actually sharing about it. Mm-hmm. Whereas I often just choose to show sketchbook work or patron stuff because that's often in a sketchbook, so it feels quite sketchbooky anyway.
Yeah. It's kind of like what we spoke about last time about posting things that aren't necessarily promoting something.
Yeah.
It's just posting things that we've been doing in the hope that then people are interested enough to go and see what we might be selling or offering. I don't think either of us are that salesy, promotional wise.
I would say when you're choosing what needs to be seen, it's more just choose what you like. Like if you've done something you're proud of or that you like, just post it. It's not kind of, I don't really think about what needs to be seen. It's just like, I like this, I'm going to share it with people. Just keep it chill. Try not to put too much pressure on.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. I think choose what you are kind of happy to share as well. Don't feel like you have to share things that you think, I don't know, because there is a pressure to kind of feel like you need to share a lot. And then it's hard, isn't it, because we're both very similar as well in that we share quite a bit of what we get up to outside of work and we share quite a lot of work stuff. And then sometimes choosing what to post and what not to post, because I'm quite conscious of I don't share everything about my personal life. But then also I don't share absolutely everything that I get up with. That I get up to work-wise either. So, yeah, kind of just put out what you want to put out and what you're happy for people to see.
And also know that it can change. I never used to post anything about myself. I wouldn't even post my face because I was like, people are here just for my drawings and that's it. So I'd only post drawings and I wouldn't share anything about my personal life because I was like, that's for my personal Instagram and people don't care if I've gone out for pizza. And now I like sharing more stuff about what I get up to. And I think it like builds up who you are behind your art as well. But yeah, you can grow. You don't have to just do what other people are doing. Do what feels right to you and you might then change that as you go and that's also fine.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good point, actually. I don't know whether it'll come up at a later point in this, but don't feel like you have to do the trends. No. I see that so much. I see people jumping on trends and you can just tell that, or I've spoken to people and they don't want to be doing them. And if it doesn't feel like you and it doesn't feel authentic to you or your brand or your craft or whatever it is that you're doing, don't feel like you have to do it. I have never lip synced or like done any dancing.
But also I'm thinking trends like within the your speciality as well. So like with illustration, there's things like Folktale Week or Inktober.
Rather than what I was thinking. No, but do you know, like, there's like trends of. So recently was I Met My Younger Self, and I know a lot of people did that, which was I know it's a nice trend. But I mean, if people don't want to do that, don't feel like you have to do that. It's not the be all and end all to keep up on every single trend, because I always think by the time I would get around to doing it, it'll have gone and then we'll be on to the next one. So don't put pressure on to keep up with trends, because I have never done that. And
no, I don't think I ever really do trends at all. I think I did that one because I saw somebody do it, like one of my friends do it, and I was like, actually, that trend speaks out to me, because I went through quite a big life change when I decided to pack up my car, leave my previous relationship and move down to Cornwall. And I was a very different person back in my teens and early 20s. So it was kind of like for me, I was like, this fits for me.
It's a good opportunity to share that story, isn't it?
Yeah, and to share a bit about myself, because it is a big part of who I am now. But I think loads of them, if I don't feel it applies to me, I'm just like, whatever. But yeah, even things like Inktober or Folktale Week, you can feel so pressured that you have to do it as an illustrator because everyone's doing it. But you can just sit and enjoy watching it, or you might want to do, because it's
just
like
dip in and out.
Yeah, you might want to just do one illustration. You don't have to do the whole month or the whole week, or you might want to do it late. You don't have to, there's often pressure. You kind of feel like there's pressure to do it, to be part of this group, but there isn't.
No. Social media is yours. It's your feed, it's your page, it's your stories, to do what you want to do with it and to tell your story in the way that you want to tell it. So don't feel any pressure to keep up with what other people are doing, because it won't be authentic, and I think people can kind of tell that. So,
yeah. Let's fly through a couple more. I don't quite know what to say. I'm going to ask this one because you might be quite good at this. How to become visible on social media as a newbie, and that's by Jessica. Because when I started... Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, when I started Instagram, it was in 2013 for my illustration. So it was a very different time. So I don't quite know what to do now. It almost feels harder now than it was.
Yeah, imagine opening a fresh Instagram now, like trying to start a new... Although we did that with this, not that we've posted anything. Sorry.
I think don't worry too much about it. Just post.
Use it as your own little like internet visual sketchbooky, if you're coming at it from a creative standpoint, that is. And try not to focus too much on follower count or those kind of numbers to begin with, because I think that is as well when people start to feel like they need to do the trends to then be seen, which I actually don't think is true. I think if you've got a niche, that's how... I am 99% sure that's why the first video I ever posted on TikTok got 500,000 views and I had no followers or anything. Yeah. And I think it was because I was doing something pretty different. Like, there's not a lot of other people doing it. And I was creating content that I made sure that I was filming it on... Like, I was doing it on my phone, and I still do everything on my phone. I think that's absolutely fine. But get a tripod, make sure your lighting's nice, make sure it looks really nice, and that you've got a nice kind of, quite a clean edit. Even if you don't have to have loads of fancy angles and different edits. No. And if it's just one shot of you just working and it's really satisfying, I think that's much better than it just being like all over the place. And
But yeah, lighting is key. Definitely. And don't over filter it. Keep it as natural as possible.
Yeah.
The only editing I do for mine is literally if I need to just kind of add a bit of contrast or whatever, because in real life it's looking better than what it's looking like on the photo. Yeah. Sometimes, but I won't put filters and things on. Just, lighting is definitely important. But you don't need fancy cameras.
No, you don't at all. Like, I've always only ever used that's another question, actually, this kind of ties into is what equipment I use. And I just have a fairly cheap tripod that holds my phone, and that is it. I have got a nicer camera. I've got a partner who is a videographer, so have you. Yeah. But we don't really use them.
No,
like we
not
should.
For that. Not for
We could have the most beautiful, perfect documentary style content, but I actually think there's something quite nice about it being on your phone and instant. It's a lot quicker to edit, and it feels a bit more like from you rather than a third party kind of coming in and doing it for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if I was a newcomer now, I would just focus on kind of telling the story of who I am, what I do, in just some really nice, simple photo and video. I think a good mix.
Yeah.
I think it is quite nice as well. I'm sure this is going to be another question, to kind of tell people who you are and the face behind the business.
Yeah, that is a question. It's, do you have to show your face? And I actually think, in a way, yes, you do. Not to tell you what to do.
Sorry if you didn't want to hear that answer.
I think it's so nice to see the people behind the art or the creative whatever you're doing. I think it doesn't have to be all the time, but I think it's nice to see on your feed or stories or something.
Yeah.
Especially
if it is just a one-man band or a very small team, it's nice to know the face behind who's posting, and then you can kind of put a face to the name.
But if you hate photos of yourself, it doesn't have to be you smiling at the camera. You could set up like your phone and take a picture of you like drawing or whatever you're doing, so you're looking at the thing that you're creating rather than the camera, because that's also, you know, people are still getting a sense of you from that. It doesn't have to be a kind of like, here's me with my work.
Yeah, if you don't want to do talking stories or that kind of thing, like I don't do a lot of reels that I talk to the camera because it makes me feel uncomfortable. But also, I think actually another good tip is not worry about what other people think. 'Cause I used to be so stressed when I first started having to post more and knowing that it was going to be quite a big part of my business and I needed to put myself out there a little bit more by sharing myself and what I was up to. And I used to think, oh God, everyone's going to think this is so cringe.
Yeah.
And it stopped me posting, or there were certain people at that time who would mock what I was doing. I'd be like nobody cares kind of thing.
There's that big worry.
Look.
Everyone cares. Well, that ties into another question, so we can carry on talking about it, because Susie has said, when did you decide to make your social media accounts for your creative stuff? Should I wait until I have a portfolio? It's like, no, you don't need to, like, because then you just build up that worry, isn't it, about what people are going to think.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, is this going to be good enough? Just go for it. Like,
yeah, actually, I think it's quite nice to start it early.
Yeah.
And then you build it gradually, rather than there being loads of pressure then
to have this perfect curated page. I made mine because I was in my final year at uni and I was like, oh, I should probably have a website and Instagram. Yeah.
It was part of our final, I was going to say final chapter. That's not, what do you call it?
The final.
Whatever. We had to make a social media account. So if you scroll like to the bottom of mine.
Mine's so bad. Mine's everything.
Sometimes
I say not to do now.
Is it?
It's filtered why have I created art and then put a weird filter on it? It's bizarre.
Yeah, but you had to put Valencia on, or the next one that was really contrasty.
Yeah. I can't remember what that was called, but yeah.
No, I think start when you feel like it's right.
Yeah, definitely. And also, it will feel really scary when you're first making a page, because you'll just have like our creative company one, you just have a few posts, there's nothing to scroll down on, so it's just like, oh, there I am. But like, everybody has started at some point, and if you just keep making and posting, then it will just build. But yeah, don't wait. I think if you wait until you have a portfolio, the pressure's going to eat you alive. You're going to feel like, is this going to be good enough after all this building?
Or if you are starting a new page for maybe a new business, because I guess we're talking to people who are doing this as a hobby and want to share it, but also people who maybe want to start a business, or people who have already got a business and want to use social media more. Maybe a good tip would be, if you've got a new account and you're not really sure what to post, is to create 3 posts which you can then pin to the top, and it could be who you are, what you do, and what you offer, or it could literally be an about you post which says
people love those, by the way.
Yeah, like what biscuit you like and what you like to do on a weekend, and then another post could be a video of you making, so people kind of know the kind of thing that you are doing. And set yourself just like 3 little, almost like headings that can then be pinned to the top of your page. So if somebody lands on your page who might not know you, they can click on them, and that gives them a really good idea.
Yeah. I remember I did one of those. I do them occasionally because of like any new followers. It's nice to say like a new hello, not to each and every new follower. But I did one and I said, oh, here's 10 things about me. Yeah. And your caption ends up being quite long. And I think, oh, people won't read this. It's fine. And one of the things was, I eat an avocado every day, which I was doing at the time. And that's what people picked up on. And they were like, can you tell me the reasons? Is there some like a health benefit I don't know about? You're like, it's just because I like avocados.
Really like guacamole.
But yeah, it's really funny how people obviously did. And I think that was number 8 or 9. And people were reading it. And so I think it is a nice way of saying like,
definitely.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, pinning to the top. And then you feel less pressured about what's fresh on your feed and for a bit, because it's all underneath those 3 anyway.
And also you can like if you really have to, you can delete.
Yeah, or archive.
Like worst case.
You can hide it.
It's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't overthink it.
Because obviously this is about social media, we chatted a lot about Instagram. Someone said, if I want to start selling my paintings, what platform is better? I don't really know. TikTok, I always get people messaging me on TikTok anytime I post anything saying, can I have a commission, please? And really? Some of them I feel are fake, but some of them are definitely real, because it'll say, like, you know how you get some that like, I would love to buy your art for a, what's that, NFP?
Oh, yeah, I get that.
NFT. And but then I'll get ones like, I had one today that was like, I'd love to get one of my daughter and her dog or something. So TikTok seems to get people interested in art in that sense.
Yeah, I do get quite a lot of people commenting things like that. Do you mean comments or direct messages?
Messages.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
but that's just for me.
Yeah. I don't know, because I guess if you're selling your paintings, are you actually selling them through a website that then you direct people to through social media? Or if I post a video of me making a big panel, I'll quite often get messages saying, is that for sale? And then I'll ask them to send me their email address, and then it all goes through kind of that way.
Yeah, okay. So it depends on if you're trying to sell something you've already made in
I would never
the
sell
shop sense.
On a platform.
No. Although I did do it actually a few years ago, 2021 lockdown, and I did a little illustration every day on the run up to Christmas and sold them through my stories. So I'd be like, today's
yeah, that is
one
a good idea to do it. Yeah.
But that was kind of for like, they were small, like cheaper priced. It wasn't like a big purchase for people. Yeah, I guess it depends on what. When you
Instagram story sales, I would say, is actually quite a good one.
Yeah. Posts, Instagram just seems to go, this person's selling something, so I'm not going to show anybody it. Whereas stories, I think sometimes you can get away with.
But if you somehow quite cleverly cheat the algorithm to tell everybody that on a certain date at a certain time, there's going to be a sale on your Instagram stories.
Yes.
And put a countdown so people know that at that time there is going to be things that are going to be available for sale. Yeah. That's quite a good way to do it.
Yeah, that's a really good way to do it. Do you want to ask one of yours before I carry on ploughing? I feel like I'm stealing all of the questions here.
I think I have, by just banging on and then going on to the next.
No, that's all right.
How do you mentally turn off from social media?
This sounds kind of blunt, but I kind of stopped caring.
I wasn't expecting you to say that.
It can feel like all-encompassing sometimes, and it kind of goes in like cycles. At the moment, I'm really not bothered. It's kind of almost like I'll post some stuff, but it's quite easy. Like I haven't even really scrolled much recently at all. But then other times, I don't know when. I think sometimes the more I post, the more pressure I suddenly feel to be on it and doing stuff.
You're quite different though, because your work doesn't necessarily rely on social media.
No, however, and I am going to do a Patreon video on this in a couple of months. I have had quite a few, like, publishers have used work that I've put on my Instagram as their like reference to like, we want the style to look like this, or we loved this. So even though it's not directly getting me work, it kind of like my agents are getting me work.
It's like a portfolio.
But it's a portfolio.
Yeah.
So there is a little bit of pressure there. But that just reminds me I've got to like, it's always the stuff that I've done for fun.
Yeah.
So I've got to remember like do stuff for fun, because that can get you work.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's not the same as yours totally. You're more
I think I struggle. Like I would say social media has quite a big effect on my mental health. Not because of, although I have had some quite funny mean comments recently, which we can go through. Like quite funny.
Okay.
They're mean, but in a funny way.
Okay.
But that's not why it affects me. It's more the constant feeling like I need to be posting something, or feeling like I need time off, but I shouldn't be having time off, but I need to make something, but I can't make it because I should be posting it, but I don't want to put my face on social media because I'm not feeling it, so then I won't make it. But then I'm like, it's just a vicious cycle, and I go through times where I'm absolutely loving it and I'm getting all the dopamine because a video's got millions of views or whatever. And I'm like, this is great. But then at the same time, that means that I'm then getting quite a lot of messages, or I don't know, it's just constantly kind of going off. And I think I really struggle to just be like, right, I'm going to put it to one side and not think about it, because even on the days that I'm like, I've not got anything to post, I feel like I should think of something to post. And then I've got to consciously say to myself, no, you're not going to post today, so just forget about it. Like, let that leave your head, because you're not doing that today. You've not got time to do that today. You've got nothing to say today. You did one 2 days ago. That's still going and obviously going into people's feeds. So it's fine. Get over it, Bryony. Or I have to say to myself, like, nobody cares. Nobody knows that you've not been on there for a week. Get over yourself.
Yeah. So how do you switch off from it?
I don't like, I think the times that I do actually switch off from it is when I am being creative without filming it, and without the pressure of to be like, but even with when I've been making things for the wedding, part of me has been like, I should be filming this because then I could make a series about everything that I made for my wedding. And I'm always, because now it is such a big part of my life and my world, and I'm not complaining about it. It has completely changed my life, and I do absolutely love it. I've met so many lovely people through there. I meet so many nice people at workshops because they've found me on social media. I get to go to events, and it is all absolutely incredible. But at the same time, like the mental toll that it takes sometimes. Or you could be having a really lovely day and then you get a message saying, have you seen this account that's copying you?
Yeah.
And your day just
plummets.
Goes very downhill. But again, I keep saying every time I bring that up, I'm like, I'm not getting that into that today. So yeah, I think I have to consciously say to myself, it's okay, Bryony, you can have the day off social media today, or you can have a couple of days off. It's fine. The world is not going to end if you don't post.
Because it is a free platform. And I know lots of your work comes in from it, but as you say, if something's still doing well that you posted, or even if there isn't anything for a week, people aren't going to go, Bryony who? Like, you're not going to suddenly be forgotten if you have that little bit of time off, you know.
Yeah, and I think that's where the posting quality stuff rather than quantity, that because I've chosen to do that, it means that if I've done one that's done quite well the week before, it's like, it's fine. There is just a lot of pressure to do it. And now that I can make a bit of income from it as well, that obviously makes a bit of difference.
Yeah.
It's like a job.
Yeah.
But no, I try to not let it get to me too much. And last year I was just like, I can't post anything. I barely posted anything last year. I didn't make anything. I didn't make any reels of me making anything, partly because of how much everything was being copied. But partly because I just kind of fell out of love with it. And I think, like, at the beginning of this year, I set myself a target for the end of the year. And I was like, right, this year I'm really going to try.
Yeah.
I'm going to put some effort in. And it has paid off. And I think when you can see that it's paying off, you feel like it's more worth it.
But I didn't really notice, this sounds really bad, you're going to be like, oh, thanks. I didn't really notice that you weren't there last year. I felt like you were there.
I was there. I was present and posting stories quite a lot. But I wasn't filming. I didn't really make anything. I didn't make any big panels or anything last year that I really... Was it last year? Yeah. I go through a lot of different phases with it, and sometimes I'm completely into it and I'm like, I've got 6 things that I need to share today. I can't possibly wait a week until I can share that.
Yeah.
And then at other times I'm like, I've got nothing to say and nobody cares, so there's no point me sharing it.
That is the hard thing, when you feel like you've got nothing to say.
Yeah, or that nobody, like, or I'm like, why would I post that? Why does anybody care about this thing that I have made?
I think we should chat about the negative comments. I haven't actually had a question about it, but I think it is quite... Because I think that's what people are nervous about, really, isn't it? Posting and having negative comments. The trolls. I haven't really had... I mean, we had a troll on our podcast.
Was that on the podcast one or was that on you?
I can't remember if I did it on the podcast one or mine.
No, it was yours.
But I asked a poll, how long do you like podcasts to be? We're definitely going over what the majority was. It was 30 to 40 minutes. But somebody just replied saying, I don't like podcasts at all. I was like,
that's cool. Fair enough.
Thanks for the input. But no, I don't really get... I do feel lucky I don't really get negative comments.
No, I don't know how people show up constantly when they do. Like, how that doesn't... I just think it's absolutely horrendous. The hate that I see some people get, or just the relentless questioning, or... I don't know. I every now and again, if a video goes well, there's hundreds of nice comments, but there's always some weirdos who will always say something. But then if other platforms, so like big pages have shared my videos quite a lot, and in that case, there is always quite a lot of not mean, but just unnecessary comments. And Actually, I was about to say I've got a thick skin, and I'm really, really not. I'm quite pathetic.
Yeah,
but
I don't have a thick
there's certain things that I can, if it's not personal, I can laugh at it. Like, I've had quite a lot of comments that have been like, get a real job, what's the point? What a waste of a perfectly good tile.
What does she even do?
Why? What's the point? But then someone put on my video on TikTok, on one of my videos the other day, saying, did you really need to include your face in this?
That is brutal. Oh my God.
I was like, I'm sorry.
You're like, no, probably not, to be fair.
No, I didn't.
Oh my God. That's also right after we've just told people, put your face on your feed, and then you're going to terrify people now.
That's the only time anybody... And that video had like 5 million views, so it was just one comment, and it just really made me laugh.
That is really
And then
funny.
another one said, what a load of shite.
I do think it was on a shared one from a page.
No, that was on the shared ones. I don't even look at them anymore.
I was going to say,
because it's absolute jobs worth.
Yeah, and people, things like Lad Bible or whatever, people are following for really random things. So as soon as they see like a nice mosaic, they're kind of like, this isn't a random football meme or...
No, it's always men telling me that I'm bad at grouting.
Is it?
Yeah. Always, like, it's always men.
Absolute classic.
Like, having a go at something or other that I'm doing wrong, or that I'm like, I've got the right sponge, I just couldn't be arsed going to get it.
Arsed
Or
is fine.
there's just, yeah. And stuff like that I'm just not bothered about, but I just won't look at it because then I'm like, everybody hates what I'm doing.
I think I said before, so I won't go fully into the story, but like how YouTube, when I first started on YouTube, I had some haters on there. And that was, I think, that was my first experience, thankfully only experience the YouTubes.
But again, that was just stupid.
It was stupid things. It was people telling me off for leaving my paintbrush in water or for buying two of the same pencil, and unnecessary comments, but they do stick with you. And I'd be walking around and be like, why do I feel weirdly guilty? And it's like, oh, I'm feeling bad because of that comment has made me feel
when you're
bad.
such a people pleaser and you need everybody in the world to like you, then it is,
or at least just not tell you if they don't. I'm so happy with people not liking my work, but I think of when people go to like the effort of writing that they don't like it, or you know, like, what are you even doing, or did you have to show your face? Like, they've actually spent time, even if it's only a few seconds, doing that.
I know. I was so tempted to do a video like quoting it, but I was like, I'm not going to encourage it, because if it gets any more personal than that, and I'll just cry and leave social media forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, next question. Have we got any more that we can squeeze in?
Well, let's do one more, because then I've really got to go. I think we have to do a social media part 2 down the line a little bit, because I think there's so many and I don't want to just ignore them. But I have got to go to Pilates. It is the evening now, and you know, life does commence sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. Well, there's so much, and it's going to come up all of the time, I think, just in general records anyway, because it's such a big part of our life.
But I think, not like instantly, but I think we'll definitely have to do another thing, because I think this might also spur some questions on, won't it, for like other people. They might be like, oh wait, I've got a question on that because of this. Right, let's do one more quick one and then I'll run away.
Go on then, have you got one?
Do you need a big following to have a successful career or attract an agent? I can say absolutely not for the agent side, because how many? I can't remember. I think I had like maybe 5,000-6,000 followers or something when I got my agent. But my agency, I've seen lots of artists who are represented by my agency, and they might have like 130 followers. Somebody that did this incredible animation that was on Sky around Christmas, and it was massive, had like 100 or 200 followers on their Instagram. So it does definitely not for an agent, but they do want to see your work. So they don't care about the followers, but they care about what you're posting.
Yeah, I don't think you need to have, like, if you look at some of the biggest brands around, like, they've not all got huge followings.
No.
Like, they've got big followings, but they've not got huge followings. I don't think that it's the be all and end all.
No.
I, up until 3 years ago, I'd very gradually grown it over 6 years to like 4,000. And as long as those people are kind of a little bit engaged, and then they might tell somebody that they've been to a workshop, it's still like word of mouth still works, and leaflets still work.
Get your friends and family to follow you. If you've got another page, put a picture of your like creative page up on your stories and say like, please come and follow my other page. Like, that's how everybody starts. You get your first 100 followers that are all just friends and family.
Yeah. But if you've got friends and family trying to run a business, go and support their Instagram. Yeah.
Because it costs you nothing to follow and like. It's not doesn't cost anything other than 1 minute of your time. So yeah,
it's so powerful.
Each other. Yeah, but I don't think you do. I think as your success grows, your following will grow, but it's not a thing of you needing it to be successful.
Don't use it for like validation. Don't think, oh, nobody's liked this or nobody's seen it, because that doesn't mean that what you've posted isn't good.
No, not at all.
It's not a direct correlation between likes and quality.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Yeah.
And that is my leaving tip.
Yeah.
For this week.
Post what you enjoy doing. Don't worry if you think it's good enough or not good enough. If you like it, post it. Because there's so much like, oh, but it's not as good as that other person also doing illustration or whatever. It doesn't matter. Just post it if you like it. Share what you do, because so many people will envy the fact you're even doing it. But, you know, even if you're doing it as a hobby, you're like sitting down and drawing. The amount of people that will say, oh, that's amazing. I wish I could draw. I can't even draw a stick man, because that seems to be just the thing that people say. You know, and people will admire you. And
yeah, they might not tell you, but they will be doing.
Yeah, and there's actually like not that much hate on Instagram in the early creative world. People are just
I
nice.
have got the love, like the comments and things that people leave and the messages that I get are just so lovely.
Yeah.
I am so grateful to my Instagram community and the TikTok people, apart from that one mean man who slagged off my face.
Yeah, exactly.
But
me too.
Don't compare don't look at other accounts and compare, because that is just a recipe for disaster.
And don't be who you think you should be. Just be you. Don't follow trends. Just do what you want to do. If there's a trend you want to do, absolutely do it. It's like a period of time, like a week or something, and halfway through you lose all the will to live with it. Doesn't matter. You don't have to finish it just because you started it. Just, try and take that pressure off. And we're going to go, because I'm going to be late. It's in 10 minutes.
Go. Thank you so much to everybody who did leave a question.
Yeah, thank you. And just a reminder, next month's topic is workshops and patrons. So do send us a little message on Instagram at Creative Company Podcast, or an email at creativecompanypodcast@gmail.com. And we really look forward to hearing all of your questions, stories. I want to hear some stories or experiences.
Or if you are somebody who runs workshops or a Patreon, tell us what has worked for you, what you enjoy about it.
Yeah.
We would love to know.
Yeah, definitely. Tell us a bit about you. And even if you've got no question or anything, you just want to say a little something, really want to know. So, let us know. And we'll see you next month. Hopefully not dying in the heat, but hopefully still some sun.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We're complaining about weather again. Let's not go down that road.
Okay.
Right,
bye, everyone.
Enjoy Pilates.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.